All right, folks, we are back and getting into it. It's map number 1 in a brand new best of 5. You're here just in time for Nerchio versus MaNa. Thank you very much to Arrow23 for the Twitch Prime sub, by the way. We got on our way to a mini little sub train here. Thank you guys so much. That's how many subs today? 6. Oh boy. Spoil me rotten, why don't you? Thank you very much, Arrow. I do appreciate it, man. Welcome to the Base Trade Brigade. But we are getting into game number 1 in a brand new best of 5. In the top right, we do have the Polish Red Protoss, Team Liquid's MaNa. With his opponent at the bottom left, none other than the also equally Polish Blue Zerg player, Nerchio. And I don't actually know if they'd be equally Polish or not. I guess like one could be like half Germanic and half Polish, and they could be just pure Poland. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Point is, both fantastic players from one of the best regions Europe has to offer, and some of the best players that have come out of this region on top of that. However, MaNa and Nerchio, I think, I haven't looked at the Illegal-X stats, and frankly, I'm not going to tab out to do it now, but I gotta imagine this is like a Nerchio-sided series. I know that for a while they were trading off, and then every time we started seeing it was Nerchio, and then more Nerchio, and MaNa would start losing these games where he'd be like playing the best game of his life on like 20 army supply, but still not be good enough to actually win the game with it. And again, apologies guys for the allergy noises. I'm just dying here, slowly and unfortunately grossly. Why did the EPM bar come up? What the hell is that? Let's get out of there. But yeah, I gotta do a little bit of shilling and a little bit of selling out. Thank you, Tanya. Triple D84 Twitch Prime sub. Hype. Thank you for joining us here on the Base Trade Brigade. But like I said, a little bit of shelling, a little bit of selling out, guys. Of course, they actually just finished they had just finished getting done with a really awesome sales deal. If you didn't check out their site, then unfortunately you missed out. They do have some sales and deals still going on. My old mouse, the Corsair Scimitar, which I was using before their new mouse, the Corsair Glaive came out, is on sale for a discount if you want to check it out on their website. But of course, they got a lot of other good equipment, not just peripherals, but they have RAM, obviously power supplies, all that stuff. So if you click on any of our affiliate links down below in the stream, it'll take you to the Corsair website. Let them know that you came from BaseTradeTV, and most importantly, anything you buy, a small percentage of the purchase through those links will go directly back to us, which is awesome. It's literally like you guys buy something for like $60 and we'll get like 30 cents for it, but hey, it's still money. But the bigger point is that Corsair sees you come from BaseTradeTV. They work with a lot of partners and a lot of people. You know, you got Ammunition, Bajira, and a lot of other big streamers out there. So it's always nice when we get that little bit of recognition. But they are not alone in this, and all those Prime subs we're seeing today are awesome because this would otherwise be a $100 weekly cup with no monthly finals, no points, and no real competition. However, it's a $400 season finals thanks to Twitch bumping up that prize pool. This tournament is, of course, powered by Twitch, sponsored by Corsair. But oh boy, more names I can't pronounce. Faja? Thank you very much for the $4.99 regular sub. I appreciate it. I don't care whether you're Twitch Prime, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. We love you nonetheless, but we do love the Tier 2 and Tier 3 subs a little bit more. And whenever Twitch gives us the tools to spoil them rotten, you bet we're going to. Till then, thank you guys for the subs. Meanwhile, we watch a lot of MaNa's base, I suppose. I was expecting him to do pretty much what he's done here. Dark Shrine, typical build. MaNa doesn't vary things up a lot. He does have, to I guess better explain that, right? He does have a lot of builds in his pocket, and he streams regularly enough that I think anybody who's even a casual viewer knows like about how MaNa plays. So I don't think Nerchio should get caught off guard by anything in the series. I really do not believe there should be like an, oh my god, I didn't see that coming moment. And something like a Dark Shrine leading into the Dark Templar, which of course are Archons. Totally expected. Totally something Nerchio should be able to deflect. Let's see how much damage MaNa can get done. But MaNa is doing something else with this that I like. Ooh, this is where I start thinking you shake it up and vary it a bit. And he's been doing this more consistently lately. I remember the first time he did this, I got really excited because it was like a once in the blue moon thing. But he goes for a second Warp Prism behind this. Charge comes out very quickly too, which again, it's like the new meta, right? It's coming into the game, the cheaper cost, the faster zealots, all these good things. But I am most interested to watch his micro because MaNa, I feel, is like he's like a berserker in a video game, right? The more damage he takes and the lower his health is, I feel like the better he plays. So right now he's at full health. He hasn't taken any damage, and he's gonna be like an okay player. But like he starts losing Templar like this early on, takes a bit of damage back at home. He starts fighting like a god. I don't know what it is, but that just seems to be the consistency of MaNa. Also, another sub coming in, Sawmonk. Thank you very much for these 27 months. I see that you're also subbed to another quality streamer, Natanius. We are Natanius. MaNa has to burn one of his warp pins here to actually get that Templar that he lost earlier. This sucks. This actually takes a little bit of power away from the secondary warp prism he has off to the side. Dirty Dancing 32 with that Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much. We do have, that's like 9 subs now for the day. That's pretty nice. Considering last time we cast, we literally got 2 resubs and no new subs. Feels good, man. Feels good, man. But we got the Archons coming in to distract, saying, hey, I need you to look over here as I kill your Overlord. This Warp Prism can then head to the main with 3. It's barely missing that extra Zealot. Of course, he's going to have extra Warp Ins coming too, but that charge finishes up as we speak, and that's going to be the bigger component for this. A little bit of micro can go a long way. Keep these roaches from killing the Archons. Interesting to prioritize the Creep Tumor. He could have killed that last roach. One shot would have killed it. But goes for the Creep Tumors and strips Nerchio of some of that map presence. Looks like the attack in the main goes in, but Nerchio is ready for this. He did scout this with that Overlord, by the way, so it's not like MaNa was sitting there totally undetected and with stealth the entire time. It does suck that he invested in both Warp Prisms, only to have neither really cause much damage. A little bit of Creep Tumors. Don't think he got the Overlord, actually. Yeah, it's still alive. And now we got Mutas on the way. And these Warp Prisms are fast, but not that fast. And they will get picked off if they sit around too long. So this game is really shifting favorably for Nerchio. Not really enough has happened to define like, oh, I think Nerchio's in a clear lead. Or I think MaNa's doing quite well in defeating his opponent slowly but surely. But it is something where I do like Nerchio's position. Because with Mutas coming out, he's going to take control away from the Warp Prisms. Losing both the Warp Prisms and all the unit inside of them, MaNa's already on a really low army count. If he actually loses these straight up, he's going to have this. That's it. Some sentries that are empty because they just hallucinated a bunch of units, and a couple of mortals. In fact, the Mutas aren't even going for the Warp Prisms. I guess Nerchio's confident he can deal with that with just on the reinforcements, excuse me. So, comes across the map, and MaNa's going to lose that probe. It's going to lose probes in the main too, even though there is a cannon down. This isn't Terran, you can't repair it, so much for the cannon. The Muta does not die, barely lives, kills a lot more probes with this too. Other side of the map, some drones died, but it's only like 4. 17 probes have died so far. This isn't over yet. It continues to fly over to the left, more warp ins coming, there's still cannons being built. Nerchio's not going to run away with this game like Fly did versus Showtime, but damn, if 23 probes isn't great. There's nothing left in the main to pick off, really, so get that Warp Prism. Of course, not that Nerchio was really worried about recovery, but he does have 4 bases, so if he took more damage, I think he still would have been fine. MaNa will have the extra Chrono Boost and a lot of extra Nexus to build probes with, so I think getting that probe count back up to like a 60 count or something that he's comfortable with is not too difficult. But still, he lost a lot of workers. That was 23 dead in total. Big attack coming out of Nerchio down the middle of the map. Very brute force styles. He's going to have +1 melee for this. But a lot of this army is in the Roaches and the Mutas. So I don't know how good versus bad this will be. I guess what's kind of cool is there is this secondary rocks. So if Nerchio gets force fielded out on one side, he can just go through the other. Oh, and the Mutas just get on top of the probes immediately. Transfer gets picked off and plucked clean. Continues to pick off everything. Nerchio is truly beast mode with these Mutas right now. It hasn't killed MaNa yet, but MaNa's feeling the burn. There's no doubt about it. I do like the investment in the extra cannons, the pylons for the overcharge. Like, he's done a lot to make sure this doesn't get too snowbally, but it is already pretty snowbally. The fact that he's had to replace so many workers has cost him a lot of actual money. He's not struggling for cash yet, but this is really the difference of like that extra warp in. Greatest Spire gets snuck in behind this. I didn't even realize Nerchio got the hive tech. He's been so smooth about this while he's been playing on the front lines. Total probe kill count at this point up to 38. I don't know what Prism's going to go down. Cargo inside. Close the Zealots, so it's not such a big deal. Well, a little bit of deep breaths on both sides. Players just kind of collecting themselves. How many storms is that? That's 4 storms available, which may or may not be good. The Immortals can take care of the roaches. There's no doubt about that. Paired up with a couple of force fields, you don't even need that many Immortals. But it is a lot of Lings, and there's Banelings rolling around too. For Nerchio, this is all just like time-buying mechanics to get to those Broodlords. As long as he gets to the Broodlords before MaNa gets the Tempest, Nerchio's gonna be very happy. Although, to be honest, some might argue Nerchio is never happy. He's just being kind of let to die. I think at this point, freeing up the supply might not be too bad. Bottom right, looks like there's some Warpins going down. Spinecrawler gonna actually buy some time. That's kind of nice, actually. I hope he replaces that. It's a couple more. Meanwhile, the additional Stargate's coming down, so he really wants to be pumping Tempest like 2 to 3 at a time. He's perhaps making a mistake here, though, because for Nerchio, the Broodlords are more of an addition to his army than the main component. So much of this, I think, is on the Banelings and the Roaches and everything on the ground. But as time goes on, he may end up making them bigger parts of the army. This fight goes pretty well for MaNa on the defense. Like I said, guys, he starts taking damage and he gets this like berserker buff. He just plays better at lower health, but he's still not in a good spot. No easy way to push this back whatsoever. The Storms killed a lot of the Banelings. Actually, that was really nice. But less than 300 minerals. It's hard to keep building these Tempests, much less warp in Zealots on the ground or any sort of supporting force. Banelings will find the Zealots. Big hits on the left side for Nerchio. Takes out almost all of that buffer for the army, and now the Broodlords just continue to push forward. I mean, they might go down to the Tempest, but not before they remove the Immortals, not before they remove the Archons, and importantly, of course, those Sentries. So this has gone so incredibly well for Nerchio. The +2 melee means all these Lings flooding in are going to be even better and stronger. And in fact, the Lings that are already in play are still chipping away at the army. Tempests are going to go down before they even kill all the Broodlords, so 2 of them will still remain, and Nerchio has, in my opinion, run away with this game. GG. So it's a MaNa's opinion, too. To grab something from my roommate before she left. It's kind of important. Anyways, yeah, camera movement looks horrible when it's following somebody else. The problem with that last patch in the game, which I hope they'll fix at some point in the near future. Ugh. Anyways, not super surprised to see Nerchio up 1-0 in the series. He's, despite his self-proclaimed like whiny hate and distaste for the matchup, I do feel like he's generally speaking pretty good at it. I don't know that I've seen him balance wine harder than versus Protoss specifically, but Nerchio is always, even when he loses, not like looking the worst. There have been a couple of games, like honestly, we've cast a couple of matches of Nerchio where he goes from being like one of the best Zergs in Europe to like Diamond League player. You know what I mean? Like he flips and he flops. But when he's good, he's really good, and that first series I thought he was doing pretty good versus MaNa. Although for him, I'm sure if you asked, it was like the craziest struggle of all time, and he can't even believe that he won. That being said, it is pretty daunting for either of these players in that finals. Like, no matter what happens here, you know, the winner fights against Showtime. That much has been guaranteed so far. I actually think MaNa has a really good chance in PvP versus Showtime, even though Showtime's PvP is still God tier. But the thing is, Nerchio, I'm not sure if it's like a self-defeat thing or what. He's fought against Showtime several times in the past, and even one of the series where he went 2-2 against him, it was still like a very morose, I guess, series on his end. But anyways, that's getting ahead of ourselves. We got to see how this plays out, and up 1-0 is not looking too bad at all. Ling's going to be denying a third for a bit of time, and then unfortunately MaNa has not left any sort of opening in the wall, so Ling's can't really get in there too much. Can't do anything really. Promises broken. Free Partoufs for all. I'm not sure what happened. What promises were broken, and who's going to give the Partoufs? Because it ain't going to be me. Actually, I could actually just go to the bot and give everybody Partoufs, but that means going to the other room again, and I just sat back down, so no thank you. Several drones being made at a time for Nerchio. He's really not feeling scared from anything he's seen. If this was something where he was really worried about, he would, of course, be just hammering down that Zergling button, making some roaches, more queens, but his early game defense doesn't look like he's worried about it at all, so just drones, and drones a little bit more. It is worth noting, though, that he's not really gone very gas-heavy at all. He's operating all of this off of 1 gas, so +1, speed, weapons. Like, I'm actually, even with layer tech on the way, a bit surprised how much he's getting away with just 1 gas. If he plops down like another couple soon, then yeah, it might give us some hint of what he's heading towards, but he really can't do much on layer tech with 1 gas, and that's what I'm a bit concerned about. Like, good luck making Hydras, much less those Banelings that you made that in S4, right? But I know he's surrounding the Adepts, will get a couple of kills. It is worth noting he finally does take some of the extra gases, but still not all of them, much less 4 of them. So I am really, truly curious what Nerchio is planning to do with this. At this rate, it kind of feels like maybe it'll just be some kind of a bust, but never mind. There's the extra gases coming in. Okay. You say maybe you open the wall and you just like, you know, you've stayed on minerals, you've got the money, you flood Zerglings. Maybe it gets out of hand, maybe it doesn't, but it didn't seem like a wise strategy. So I was kind of curious on why he would hesitate, but delaying the gases is fine when you're Zerg, especially because you'll have so many extra bases. Taking them, it's not gonna be a problem. It's just a long time to be on 1 gas. Sounds like there's some stasis traps going off over here. Not going to kill drones, but this does take them out of commission for like a minute. Kind of sucks. Attack on the right side. Going to hit that lair. Force fields are kind of okay. They keep the Banelings back. Nope, never mind. Just kidding. Oh, he left a hole on the top side. Banelings take out all the Zealots and the Sentries, and this goes from being an attack that was going to be pretty good for MaNa to being just absolutely the worst, and he gives away so much. Not that that was like a cheap defense from Nerchio. Like, he did have to actually expend quite a few Banelings to kill everything, but he killed it quick enough that no drones died, and that puts him in a very nice spot. Coming up on 70 workers, 4 bases, Hydralisk down on the way. Hydra Baneling is such a strong composition, too. And there's a good counter to charge lots. So right now, Nerchio's looking pretty damn good. People are saying F Nerchio in chat. Yo, I'm going to agree with Cube Bertino here a bit. Maybe just the end statement there where he says, like, the only foreign player who consistently steps up against Koreans. So, like, I wouldn't say the only foreign player, right? You've got Neeb, you've got Snoot, you've got a lot of people who actually step up to the Koreans regularly and can play on their caliber. In fact, even though he lost, Snoot versus Beyond is still probably one of my favorite matches of all time. However, Nerchio is still good, and Nerchio actually played against Beyond too, funny enough, and kicked some butt in that show match. So Nerchio is without a doubt a good player, and he's earned his credit. But to say he's the only foreigner, I think is being a little bit generous. I mean, he won the Kespa Cup for God's sake. Also, while we don't advertise it much, the Mega Tournament fundraiser is still going on, and I don't even care. You know, if we don't hit that 30,000 goal by the end of the year, that's fine. We're kind of almost a third of the way there. But even if we don't hit that goal, what I do hope we hit is at least the goal that makes Neeb eat ramen out of the Kespa Cup. Not because I think it'd be disrespectful to Kespa and like F Kespa. I just think it'd be funny. Like, you know, this glorious trophy. It's like the most prestigious thing for a foreigner of all people to win. And you're just like, ooh, soup bowl. Yum. I actually hope we get to see some more Neeb stuff too, since he is back in the house. I don't know when, but he'll be back in the Korean house over the next couple days. That hopefully be playing some of the Korean stuff we're hosting at least. Anyways, Banley's rolled in, but there's nothing for them to really connect to. I think he was hoping that this base would be a little bit more saturated, so it's awkward. It's super awkward for the Banlings, but the Hydras get to tear down the pylons. There's going to be 0 overcharging at this point. The Nexus should get canceled. If it doesn't get canceled, it's going to get killed. Or Nerchio doesn't want him to cancel it? No, it's killed. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on for MaNa for that. Banley squeezed through, but there's nothing to really squeeze to. Stasis Trap's coming from the backside as well. Catch some of the units as he kites backwards. Zealots on the bottom left gonna get caught. Like a Rifkin wall. See, here's the thing. I'm not even gonna dispute that, right? You can call Rifkin walling bad because the things I have walled poorly in my history of playing StarCraft. But the Rifkin drop thing, it's not a thing. You guys are trying so hard to make it a thing. It's not a thing. Zealots do catch Nerchio a little bit off guard at the base, but the quick drone pull and good reaction should minimize losses. However, as I say that, all the defenses die, so maybe not. Yeah, looks like he wraps that up pretty quick. Stasis wards coming down. A lot of Banlings, but it's also a lot of Stasis wards and Storms that could take all these Banlings out of the fight. The Storms are obviously the most dangerous, but the Stasis ward, even just removing them for a few seconds, is still removing them from the equation. So several of the Banlings on the left side get caught. He might not think there's more, but there's another one. Almost all the Banlings get caught. Nerchio's got to be careful now because he has to wait for that Stasis trap to wear off before he can really engage. And he's going to give away a lot of Hydras in the meantime if he does. So, oh, these Banlings just wait to be uncaged from their traps. Storm's still hitting, Storm's still landing. Another Stasis trap pops off. MaNa just feels like he's got infinite ones to kite back to. Nerchio has totally lost games to this, by the way, in the past. Specifically Sequencer in the map test tournament, but maybe not this time. He actually gets some really good connections at the end. There's like there's like one Storm left, maybe at most. And the 4th base is denied once again from MaNa, who is maybe not hurting for cash just yet, but getting to that point in the game where he's going to need money. He's going to need money really badly. For a moment, top right's got the Warp Prism, so it's going to look to see if Nerchio is going to see. He barely does not, but he does have Corruptors on the way. Once again, he has snuck Hive Tech in while we weren't looking, so Greater Spire starting up simultaneously, about halfway done. Nerchio is once again just kind of running away with the game in a very similar fashion to last time, but MaNa has, of course, been paying attention, and he knows the rhythm of the game. Tempest already beginning. If Tempest didn't cut it last time, maybe it'll be a little bit better this game. Fingers crossed if you're a Protoss player. Fingers crossed if you're a MaNa fan. Yeah, more Banlings, Hydras. He certainly has the army to scrap with. No doubt about it. If he can shut down the 4th again, it'd be huge. It'd be like a 5th time MaNa would take this base. No, Banlings don't even get phenomenal connects, but the base still goes down, and the Immortals starting to fall with it too. I mean, MaNa is he's getting contained by Nerchio in a pretty big way, and Nerchio has not neglected upgrades to do this, by the way. As he did get the Hive Tech, he also does have +2 melee done. Those Broodlings are going to be brutal. I don't know why that just reminded me, but Brutal Legend was a really good game. I liked it a lot. Jack Black, big fan, metal, good music, etc. But the multiplayer style, kind of, it was like a little StarCrafty, like not quite the same, but like, you know, still the whole idea of like getting minerals, building units, macroing up. It's actually kind of like Clash Royale, actually, if you think about it. Man, I wish they had a Brutal Legend like mobile app. Anyways, total tangent, not important at all. Banlings are going to die to the Storms, so they take out the Zealots with them, so mission's still freaking accomplished. Tempest will shoot down the Broodlords, but Nerchio's got so much ground army flooding in. I think the idea is that the Broodlords are expected to die, and he just wants to do as much effective damage as he can before they do. If he's starting to get the Guardian, excuse me, the Immortals, that might be the case, but Broodlord's die, and Nerchio starting to run a little bit dry on reinforcements. His army supply overall remains strong due to what's coming up next, but not what's here on the front line. It's 4 Hydras. He's got to fall back. This was a really good defense out of Showtime, though, because it kept him alive, but frankly, still leaves him not Showtime. MaNa. Damn it. I've done that like 3 times now. MaNa. MaNa. Liquid MaNa. Say it again, Rivkin. MaNa. MaNa, who's blue, just like actual MaNa in a video game, has not run out of red life like Nerchio yet, but he's taking some pretty good defensive fights, and I think retaining those Tempests is a pretty big deal. Nerchio's not floating around with like 16 spare Corruptors hoping to just waddle on in there. In fact, he lost most of them through that fight because, well, they became Broodlords. Another Stasis Trap. This one's pretty damn big. That's a lot of Zerglings trapped. Is that 24 plus... Oh, screw math. That's a lot of Zerglings, though. Bailey's on the south side get caught. Cancelled, not killed. Well, cancelled and killed, I suppose you could say, but the point is he didn't lose the money for them, really. He breaks through the wall. Not a lot to really pick off here, though. A lot of the probes are already transferred away. Tech is not going to be easily sniped. This ended up being kind of a bad run by out of Nerchio. Didn't even force that many warpins to the main. Why aren't Nidus Worms used more? Because Nidus Worms are very expensive and not worth losing. If you guys want to think about it in terms of cost, a Nidus Worm is like an infinitely unloading medevac that can't move. So once that dies, it's pretty not worth the while. Corruptors, Infestors. I actually like the Infestors a lot. We've seen a couple folks actually go Neural Parasites, which I'm a big fan of. I can't remember who he was playing against, but sort of actually has to have had the #1 Neural Parasite of all time, where he Neural Parasited a High Templar, which then proceeded to feed back 3 other High Templar, removing them all from the equation. So I would love to see that out of Nerchio, but of course, for him, he's only recently got pathogen glands, and that's kind of the extent of it. So, a couple of fungals, maybe some infested Terrans. I don't know. Whatever floats his boat, whatever tickles his fancy. Where is Zombie Grub? Welcome to the stream, where Zombie Grub hasn't been here for a couple days now. She's in Busan with her mom, enjoying some Korea vacation time, and she should be back tomorrow, although I don't know if we're casting anything tomorrow. I have to look at the schedule. We are casting a lot as we get closer and closer to Gameland, which is like a week away at this point. Being in Toronto, casting some stuff on a big stage live, I'm super stoked for that. I just hope that my allergies aren't going to be a problem over there, because I don't know that they would professionally like to have me on the stage sneezing and sniffling every 4 seconds, but that's why I just start loading up on a lot of extra allergy meds, I guess. I say don't mix them, but I say fuck you. This base, he wants to deny from MaNa. Oh, Hydras didn't have high ground vision. He didn't actually see this army wrapping around. Lings are the fodder. They're not that important, and they're kind of intended to die, but they do need to live long enough that the Hydras get a couple of extra shots off. Mass Fungal on top of the Zealots. Top of the High Templar. One more would have done it. 2 health remaining on these bad boys. So turn those into Archons? No, just lets them die. Low health. Infestitarians soaking some of the shots, kind of like the Lings were earlier, but Nerchio's army is dissipating fast. MaNa's isn't holding up super well either, but I think at this point he's trading out charge lots for Hydras. That's a pretty okay trade for a Protoss to make. Eight more Infestors coming out is a really costly investment. That's a lot of gas. But this does come packaged with Neural Parasite and Pathogen Glands, so see just how good that ends up playing out. Neural Parasite's kind of interesting though. Like, for those who don't know the mechanics of it, like there is like 0 chance an auto attack will shoot the Infestor even when something's Neural Parasited, or excuse me, the unit that is Neural Parasited. So that unit kind of gets freedom in your opponent's army to wiggle around. It can auto attack, it can feedback, it can storm, it can be really, really a nuisance. But more importantly than that, for the small duration in which it lasts, it does completely remove that unit from play. So, how much is 11 seconds? I thought it was 15 for some reason. Anyways, 11 seconds. You basically take that mothership out. You take the Tempest out. You don't have to worry about them fighting you with those units at all. Lings continue to dart around the map. Been quite a long game so far, but neither player really sweating balls just yet. Sweating bullets, excuse me. Whoa! Sweating balls! Ah! But I think Nerchio's army is going to be the one that's a little bit harder to deal with if he loses. 8 Infestors is a huge investment. A crazy commitment. Oh, MaNa's not quite in position for this. It's like slightly off to the side. Mothership advances forward, but the Overseer is actually going to get shot down pretty quick at this rate. Mothership gets grabbed, though. Can't feed back an Infestor out of energy, so he goes for the Storm. But he neural parasites everything else. He gets the Tempest. GG. Nerchio runs away with game number 2. Yeah, like, this was the problem for MaNa. He had like a strong standing army, but it was made of very low unit count. So every single neural parasite was going to be devastating. But hey, I'm going to go to a quick commercial break, guys, as I am still dying here from my allergies. So see you soon. All right, that times out well here for game number 3. And at this rate, it may just be the last game in the series. He's currently up 2-0. And looking to close this out and move on to those grand finals. Ladies and gentlemen, in the bottom left, we've got the red Zerg player, Nerchio. With his opponent in the top right, none other than Team Liquid's blue Protoss, MaNa. Forge. Forge. Do it. Do it. Nah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It would not have been a good idea, but a man could dream. This is like when a Terran player goes to build their 4th building and you're like, okay, make it a second factory. Second factory. Do it. Do it. Do it. DreamHack Atlanta is correct. Yeah, okay, so answering a couple questions in chat while we get into the game here. First and foremost, yes, it's a solo cast today. Yes, my allergies are going crazy off the wall, and this has unfortunately been a problem all week. So this has been an exceptionally excruciating cast, and I appreciate you guys bearing with me for it. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Secondly, DreamHack Atlanta was announced. If you haven't seen it, this isn't a hoax. DreamHack tweeted it about themselves. We're going to be making a StarCraft 2 tournament happen at Atlanta. For those who are unaware, there's a couple of DreamHacks happening this year in North America that have no StarCraft at them because WCS is not supporting them. So we said, well, why don't we do it? We got the prize money. We can make it happen. And right now, there's a $5,000 bring your own computer tournament happening in Atlanta. They're going to be putting the semifinals and the finals of that tournament up on the main stage too, which I think is pretty cool. But then this is where things get tough, because I've been asked about this many times. This wasn't actually asked today, but I'm going to answer it anyways. And that's Rifkin, are you and Zombie going to TwitchCon? And I think as much as I would really like to, I can't actually make that choice right now. Because DreamHack Denver is the exact same weekend, and DreamHack Denver also has no StarCraft. So my thoughts on this are, if DreamHack Atlanta goes really well, if the fans receive it, the players have a good time, and we find that it's worth our investment to do that, then I definitely want to go to DreamHack Denver as well. But maybe Atlanta's like a mediocre event, and you know, we don't feel like we wasted money, but it wasn't necessarily worth the $3,000+ or whatever, not to mention flights and hotels and prize money. Like, then we'll probably just go to TwitchCon. I honestly don't have an answer because I don't know. After Atlanta, I'll find out, that's for sure. Ailing, all in for 28 months, 28 years. Nobody cared about me until I subbed to the channel. Thank you very much, dude. I do appreciate that. I was thinking about going to DH Atlanta, but there isn't going to be a stage there, right? Well, again, it's going to be a 3-day BYOC thing, but the semifinals and finals will be propped up on the main stage of DreamHack, which is pretty cool. So I shrug my head and I say it's up to you. One thing that I thought was missing from Austin that I want to talk to them about, though, but I haven't been able to, is I want to at least get like a TV or a projector or something, because what sucked was we had a lot of fun and we cast a lot of really good games at Austin, But most people ended up having to watch those games through their fucking phones because they had no way of broadcasting that to people live there. Only the main stage, obviously. And don't get me wrong, it's not like DreamHack did us wrong. Nobody, including us, thought about that at the time. But now that we have experienced that and realized that, that's something I do want to try and fix for Atlanta. Even if it's just Chromecasting somebody's Twitch broadcast to a TV that's nearby, I do want people who are there to be able to watch our BYOC coverage, if at all possible. Nick Winters says, oh my god, I will so go to DreamHack Atlanta if there's a StarCraft 2 tournament. There is. Like, this is 100% happening. This isn't like an if. Atlanta is 100% a go. But hey, let me tell you guys really quick. If you are planning to go to DreamHack Atlanta specifically, do it through our Match Arena page stuff. You're getting 20% off of the tickets that you would otherwise buy on the DreamHack website. And on top of that, percentage of that money spent on Match Arena will go to the prize pool. So, hey, we're hosting a show match in a couple of days. Wait a day or two to buy your tickets, and you can get them for 20% off and help out build a prize pool. It's probably the best way you could spend your money. But anyways, charge is done pretty quick, and I've talked about nothing related to the game. Can this guy just cast some StarCraft? I'm sure they're cheering in chat, but MaNa starts this off in a weird way. And this is why it's worth talking about. Because it's charge lots to begin with, and there's a lot of them. This actually almost looks like a charge lot all in. Followed up by a Dark Shrine? He's hit all this so well and for so long. Nerchio actually, he's only just now finishing out the Baneling Nest. If the Banelings connect to the Zealots, this falls apart on MaNa, and his gamble, it's dead in the water. But if this gets in early enough, it causes damage. He splits those Zealots, and the DTs can take care of the rest. This gets really bad for Nerchio. So there is a small chance this works out very well for MaNa, but a bigger chance that it works out better for Nerchio, I think. Has to cancel the warp ends, realizing the queens are already on top of him. The Zealots trade out pretty decently, but it's still not even necessary to have those Banelings come in. He cleans up the attack very easily. A MaNa now on 6 army supply. A hell of a lot of gateways, but I feel like not much hope. Yo, big attack on the left side, setting up 2. Shout out to CJ Lincoln chat, by the way. Howdy do, buddy. We should probably, I gotta talk to you after we finally finish casting. But, locking down those qualifier things. I guess you see the Dares, who's adminning today for us, actually. He's a really awesome guy. Anyways, doesn't matter. Ling's flooding on the right side. There's a lot of Banelings. If the Archons can take them out, then the Zealots have a lot of power, and that's why MaNa goes for the focus fire. He tries to remove them, but it's not quick enough, and the Zealots get taken out. Good Baneling connections, huge Ling surrounds, and MaNa's attack is not going to work out for the second time. And Nerchio now has +1 weapons on his side. More Lings, more Banelings, 3 base economy, and not touched from any of these attacks. MaNa has utterly failed to kill Nerchio. Of course, the queens are pushing back the Warp Prism. The micro capabilities were one of the best things he had going for him, but GG, well played. Good luck in the finals. MaNa will not walk away today without prize money. At least $50 go to him. But now we go to the grand finals after this. I love that it was like a crazy, like, back and forth, 2-2, 1-1, like, Bly versus Showtime, and then Nerchio just wrecks MaNa because Nerchio is so good at this game. But now it is going to be a best-of-5 grand finals. $200 for first place, $100 for second place. Everybody kind of wins at this point. But we're going to go to a small break before then. So thank you guys again for watching today and putting up with my allergies. And we'll see you soon for the grand finals. Nerchio versus Showtime.